Howdy, hey neighbors. We have another installment of the MRL Fastlane here, talking about the Xfinity series at the Charlotte ROVAL. So we had Sunday and Monday both at the ROVAL, and it was a race. The Sunday definitely had a lot less action compared to Monday. Of course, the championship is pretty much locked up. Pretty much. We'll talk about that here in a second. For the Xfinity series, even going into this race. However, Monday was a different story, so that's why there was a little bit more urgency, a little more slicing and dicing, contact as well going into that race. But we had Sunday here. First and foremost, the big story going into this race was Xander. RS Meatwagon was parked for the race, and he was not able to race. But he was actually able to come up and commentate with me, because no one else, apart from Packers, wanted to commentate. But technically, Xander actually asked first, so when it comes to that, it's first come, first served. So Xander actually was up here in the booth with me, and we had a fun time. Liam was actually our in-race reporter, so Liam right here in number 78. The 78 actually grabbed pole, so very good job. This was his first pole of his MRL career. Yes, career, not just in Xfinity, but also just in general. So good job from him with a surprise pole, taking it over Hunty. Hunty Wild, of course, known for being a road course expert here at in the Xfinity level, going and taking out P2 from BS, who is lining up P3. Of course, BS going to this race was very down on himself. He has practiced and practiced, and when he saw these times with Liam being a whole second ahead of him, he got really down on himself. But there's a reason why I always say never give up, and sometimes you just got to put your face down, and you're just like, okay, you know what? Just got to shake it off. Let's just go. But after that, we had UK Wildcats, Justin Shackett lining up. After that was Tom Selling Dreams, so that would be our P6 lineup. After that, Paul actually took the night off. Same thing with Trump and Dees. Dees, of course, we're looking forward to your return, bud. I hear it soon. So, Dees is going to be back here soon. But Paul, Casey was not able to make it. NRG lined up after that. And then after that, we had a new guy by the name of Country Caliber. Country Caliber, I've been trying to get him in here for so long now, and he was finally able to join us. He's going to be racing the number 7 Chevrolet Camaro. So yeah, going to the actual race itself, pretty self-explanatory, honestly. It was a pretty straightforward race. The most of the action you can see is how the people take turn 1. You can actually see that right here going to turn 1. Hunty actually missed the start a little bit. 78 decided to take it. The 98 got really wide right there. Took the corner, but also got really loose. There was not a whole lot of traction to the Charlotte ROVAL. There's a lot of... the 54 just knocked the 98 out of the way right there. And that's just what I'm talking about. The opening laps are always the hardest. And as you can see, a total melee right there. The 7 going totally off-road in order to make it happen. The 51 bouncing off the wall. That's definitely not what you want to do. The 10 taking it low and slow right there. And of all people, NRG moving forward with... from a P7 starting spot all the way up to P4. And then the biggest loser out of that was the 98 being shuffled all the way back to P2. P8. So because of that, you can see just how Liam actually got the pole, and that's very, very calm, cool, and collected right there. But you can see that people are already starting to make mistakes, and that's going to be one of the keys for the race here, is just how this is. The final corner right here was treacherous for some. You can actually see it right now. The 10 just totally missing it right there, bouncing it, and allowing the 7 to actually hit the wall. But because of that, we actually had a caution because of that, which is very weird because it was a one-car incident, so I have no idea why the caution came on out. But thankfully, that was our only caution for the day. So, skip ahead a little bit. The 15 decides to not pit. Same thing with the 98. The 98 decided to not pit as well. And actually, good on them, because weirdly enough in this game, you actually go faster on worn tires. And no matter what, you still had to stop no matter what. So you can see a difference in strategy here. Because of that, I'm going to be honest, the 15 took the lead with that, and he did not look back. The only way that he lost the lead from here was through pit stops, and that is how we actually had Liam get back the lead for a short time. But now you can see just how mired back in traffic you can be, and how slow you lose, or how you lose a little bit of time here. Country Caliber, of course, moving his way forward yet again. That is a P4 UK. Definitely not known for his road course prowess, but he had to show up in order to make the championship happen. He cannot afford to miss a race, and since he does not put in a time, he does not get the benefit of last place points. So he doesn't have the benefit of just not showing up, and he has to move forward. The 98 of BS moving forward like he always does, and he's just putting the metal to the grindstone here, and that's a very interesting line. I'm glad that Hunty actually did that right there. I made the rule that you can actually make use of all the available track, and he did right there. By jumping that curb, you actually gain a bit of time. However, the downside to it is if you don't hit it just right, you're off into the wall. So you can't just run over it. There is a way to hit it. So that is what these drivers are going to be experiencing here. The 7 kind of goes off course. That's going to put him under fire from the 13 here for a hot second. But you can see that the most of the field is going to be kind of riding along the lonesome road right now. So with that, the 98 is still in P2 with Liam right behind him. He's putting in solid laps right now, and essentially he's, like I said, putting the metal to the grindstone right now and just moving forward. We do have the 51 already out of this race. He decides, like, you know what, I start and parked it. So because of that, we had a battle for a P7 right now, which was between UK and then right behind him, Justin Shackett. Like I said, UK is not known for his road course prowess, but he did have to show up for this race in order for the title. So because of that, we had a really interesting lineup here. The 98 had a bit of a gap over here. Country Caliber and Energy fighting for a P4 back here. And that's generally the way it was up until the round of pit stops right around here. Of course, there are some people that split it halfway. We did a 50%er tonight, which was like lap 14. People went and to like lap 16 for it because of the caution, which was fair. So yeah, there was a lot of people that, of course, the people that didn't pit right here come on down the 15 as well as the 98. That is exactly what people are planning on doing, and just splitting it halfway. You know, that's on them. Again, everyone has to pit no matter what, but of course, that's generally how things kind of went on out. The 98, though, trying to put a lap on Justin Shackett right now. Justin Shackett must have sped, or I think he actually kind of whiffed it coming off one of the corners. But because of that, the 15 is still out in the lead, and he's actually going through turn 1 right now as the final chicane is happening with the 98. Liam is now finally hitting his stop. However, he is going to be taking fuel only. However, weirdly enough, he had to take a can and a half, so he might as well just have taken 4 tires, honestly. But the 54 just bouncing all over. Pit stops finally happening for those that did pit right there. The 98 retains P2 with Liam now in P3. And you can actually see that as we move forward yet again, because pretty much the running order kind of just stays the same. That was no more cautions, no more big shake-up in terms of performance, but the 78 decided to take no tires, and I definitely think that was not the strategy called there, Chief, because now the 7 is going to be coming hot and heavy for that 78, and actually we're going to kind of move forward just see how close that ends up getting here in a couple laps, and you can see he's right on board, and actually the pass is probably going to be made, if I do recall, right here into this corner. The 78 takes it really hot, going to that corner, takes it, yep, way too hot for those worn tires, and bada bing, bada boom, that is the podium place loss. Kind of move on forward. The 7 bins it coming across the line, and that puts Hunty on top of the leaderboard. He wins the Sunday race with BSP2. Country Caliber in his debut with a podium. Good job. Liam P4, Energy P5, UK P6, Justin Shack at P7, and Tom Selling Dreams by virtue of DNFing P8. So, because of this, you can actually see right here that BS, with his performance right here, clinched the combined standings. And actually, I already talked about that in my Cup Fastlane episode, but you can... Hello. You can actually see that... this is for certain with BS's second place finish. He clinched the combined standings. So this is our first official, no matter what happens, our first champion of MRL. So that is a title worthy of having right now. And excellent job. That is definitely something to talk about. As we look at the stats, me talking about the combined standings here, because that's actually a spoiler for Mondays as well, so I don't want to quite go into that yet, but we will see how that looks here in a second. But BS did combine that title right there, so that is definitely one of the things to look forward to. However, in terms of Sunday, like I said, Xander did not show up, so by virtue of being parked, so he is now up in actually the same average finish as UK here. By UK's 6th place finish tonight, that actually breaks the record for the 54 either finishing first or second with that right now. Of course, the wins was broken last week with Hunty, but now he is 2 for 2 in this series, and it is going to Homestead. It makes you wonder, you know, what if Hunty came full-time, or was full-time at the beginning of the season? This could have been an awesome battle, but sometimes it'd be like that. That is what next season is for. Anywho, so yeah, the stats right here, you can actually see that BS, by virtue of having a very solid 4th average finish, had a got that title here, and so excellent work. Justin Shack at P, or with a 4.8. That was another one that showed up. Country Caliber moving forward and having a 3rd average finish. And if we look at the points, though, like I said, like, it's not official, but the clinch scenario was, again, BS did all of this, so thank you so much, BS, for giving me the clinch scenarios here. UK, much like Cyber in the Cup Series, much like Cyber in the Cup Series, has to either submit a lap or does not start in order for BS to win. So essentially, UK just does not... If he does not show up or put in a lap at all, BS wins the title by default. However, UK, by virtue of just showing up or putting in a lap, he has it. So... yeah, with that being said, that is the big to-do for the championship on terms of Sunday. With Xander not being parked for the week, he loses P3 in points. And now, because of that, everyone in the top 4, realistically, top 5, really, are now within each other in points. Or, sorry, not within each other in points, so they are going to be kind of finishing wherever they start. It depends on if anyone doesn't show up or puts in a lap. That's the big one. Tom, though, is going to be another topic for the combined standings, as we're going to be seeing here. He has been showing up a lot more than some of his other competitors, and that is why we are going to be looking at that here in a hot second. But we have a Monday to look at, though. So that was Sunday. Let's go to Monday. Monday had a different story. Packers, knowing that he was in a 51-point deficit to Nathan, Agent Orange. You can see that Packers put in a lap, and he had a blistering time down. So you can see that he put out all the stops in order for that to happen. So Packers, good job from him. He got pole. Cyber P2 in his second to last race of the season. Goose, another new entry for the series. Same thing with Racing Greens down here. We'll be starting last. That is another new entry. So 2 new entries for Monday. Nathan P4. And actually, it was funny enough that going to this race, if they would have finished where they started, the championship lead would be halved. So Nathan had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, which good job to him for actually maintaining. So I think because of that, he was able to kind of bear that cross a little bit more, and I think he did the best of his situation, despite him verbally saying that, hey, I'm not the best at road courses, but dang it, I will try. Worst cod is going to be starting P5 in the race. Kalen decided he was out of town, so he would not be joining us. Baseball Kid P6, Blakey T P7, Pipe Piper P8, and Heron P9 with the new guy, Racing Greens P10. So that was a big to-do right here for the 2 new guys to kind of show up and see what they had. So, of course, as they go through the running order, there was a couple people, new ones in chat here, deciding, Eric Jones fan, that is the alias of Racing Green, so he was also here. So, definitely a lot of racing that was going to be in store, much like the Sunday series. Turn 1 and the first part of the turns were so close. So you can see the Packers deciding to take the inside line. I don't see why he would take the outside line. It's probably something I would do, honestly. But going into turn 1, with it being an anti-clockwise circuit, people just you want to see the inside a little bit more, so that is definitely why he took it here. Goose, U.S. Strike Enterprise, trying to move forward here from that P3 starting spot. Nathan being on the disadvantage meant right here on the top side, but you can see that Packers is now rolling. A bit of a slow start for the back right there. It looks like the 98 didn't quite get going. However, the 20, though, definitely had a really good start, and that's just what I'm saying. How big and how aggressive people can be going through this center part of the turn. You can see that people just absolutely going for it. There was people that were going everywhere. The 7 of Worst Guy gets loose. Oh, it was just everywhere. The beginning part of this run right here. The 61 is looking to the 51 right now, and I think oh yeah, right there, the 98 going wide. That it was just a mess here in the first part of this lap, but we actually had a bit, yeah, right there, the 51, kind of learning from his mistake last week, where he got into a wreck early into the race, knew that the 61 was a little bit faster, and just, this is lap 1 out of a 28 lap race, just back off. You know, this is not my run right now, and actually gets the position back. However, the 61 absolutely bends the corner and actually gets into him, and that will cause our first caution of the race. So if we kind of move on forward with that, as they get racked and stacked again, Cyber now gets the lead right here. So that's what happened. Actually, there was something I missed. Cyber gets the lead because Packers gets into it and spins it. Packers. Oi, 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 oi. So, Packers is driving like a madman. He is angry, going from first to last like that. And there's 10 drivers in the field tonight. So, essentially, that is not what you want to see. I think, there's a joke in there somewhere, but Packers definitely showed that right there. That is 2 spots that he can move forward from. He is 3 spots with worst guy going off track like that. I think that is. It's just showing that he is having that never give up attitude. And as we move forward, though, the race for the lead, though, is looking pretty tight. There's 3 drivers all within a spot of it. They're all in the same boat. This 507 gets a massive run off the corner. And that's just what I'm saying. You can tell the people who practice this and who did not practice. Of course, the Charlotte ROVAL being very flat, so it's really hard to get the power down. Not as bad as like the Indy road course, but the 51 also going wide. He can tell he's tight right now, and because of that, you have a lot of potential for mistakes to be made. Packers, though, being the grand showcase here about what happened, but that is 2 races in a row for Packers making pivotal mistakes. But he is making it up right now. He is doing his best to move forward. So he's not out of the woods yet, is what I'm saying. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit right here. Following still on board with Packers, he noticed that he has not moved forward, though. The 5 of Cyber, though, definitely has indeed lost a little bit of ground. That is him right there. Nathan's now in the lead, so Packers is now in P6. And this is why I love Monday right now, is you have everyone very competitive with each other, very close in terms of times, overall lap time as well as skill. So Monday is definitely very close in terms of where they're all at. But the 51 definitely moving forward now. That is exactly what he wants to see and he needs right now. But that 36 is looking pretty hot. That is Racing Greens. However, we have another caution. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here, because no one was like spinning. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. Anyway, so they restart here. Worst Cod decided to not pit. 61 of Blakey T. This was a mistake, because if they pit right here, they could make it the rest of the way. They didn't have to pit. So that was definitely a mistake from the 61 as well as the 7 of Worst Cod. But the 7 having it was just a melee there into turn 1 right there. The cautions definitely being to the detriment of some people. But to the benefit of others. You can see that Packers is definitely trying to move forward, though. You can see that those that did pit and that did not. The 70 looking down to the inside, that is Goose up in the P5. Packers trying to follow for P6. And you can see that Cyber has taken the lead yet again. However, the 36 of Racing Greens is definitely making a name now. This is his first race, and he's already up to P2. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit now. Packers has now moved up into P3. Racing Greens has got past the 5 of Cyber and is now definitely moving forward. Baseball Kid and Blakey T both have backed on out. The 11 of Baseball Kid has been confirmed by those that did not race, has been confirmed to be moving on to Cup. So he's like, okay, peace. So he is not racing anymore. But however, there is still a race to be had. The 5 of Cyber and the 20 of Packers they have the position. The 20 wants it, the 5 has it, and because of this, you can see just how much they're willing to do. The 51 trying to get some that downforce down low. There is actually a little bit of speed down there. However, it depends on how and when you go down there. The 5 completely misses the corner, and that will be a position for the 51 as well. Very unbecoming of Cyber right there. Usually does not make that mistake. However, you can see that this race is far from over because the 51 the next corner misses the turn and gets a penalty. So while Packers made a mistake, the 51 of Nathan does it right back. So that is he lost a position by doing that. That is Goose now in front. That is Worst caught a lap down, but Goose is right there in front. He is the one that is chasing. So we're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit more. We were talking about Racing Greens. Thank you so much for BS for coming up here with me for the talk, but we were for the broadcast. We were talking about Racing Greens. This is his first race with us, and he's coming out with a bang. So literal championship implications was what Nathan had that mistake for. However, Packers is starting to gain a little bit of ground right here. However, when it comes to the overall grand scheme of things, Packers on worn tires starts to lose a little bit of ground now because there's Racing Greens right there. Originally, he would have been like right here at this point. And Packers, though, despite everything, is going to rebound for a P2 and Racing Greens is going to win the race. You can see that he had a monster of a lap. Packers essentially running his qualifying time. It's weird how that kind of works out sometimes. Just 1/100th of it off. Wow. But yeah. So to kind of go down the running order, Racing Greens ended up winning. Packers P2, Cyber P3, Nathan P4, Goose P5. They actually line up exactly as they did right here. Again, weird how that works out. Heron P6, Piper P7, Worst Cod P8, and then Blakey T and Baseball Kid P9 and 10 by virtue of DNFing. So, because of that, now we can look at the official standings for the Monday series. Of course, by Packers and Nathan both leading a lap. They cancel each other out in terms of advantage there, but 2 positions difference between that. So second and fourth, that is 10 points of difference, meaning Packers is now 41 points behind. Still within a realistic shot of the title. And actually, the exact way that this can be won or lost is, again, thank you to BS for doing this, Monday. Nathan has to finish 8 or better. And then, or the other scenarios, essentially is if... So, in order to win the championship, Nathan has to finish 8th or better. Okay? No matter what, no matter where Packers finishes. Or if just Packers just doesn't show up. Packers needs to, in order to win a championship, Nathan does not need to put in a lap or show up, but Packers essentially needs to have the best race of his career, and Nathan has to have the worst race of his career. So, realistically, it's still within shot. I mean, look at what happened with Cyber and Xander at Texas. Literally, that's what happened. So, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, but essentially, it's definitely within shot of it. Worst Cod, though, is essentially locking up P3 for the title. Baseball Kid P4. Much like Sunday, the points... everyone's kind of within their own positions, depending on who shows up and who doesn't. That's the only way they're going to change. But everyone is going to be within their own points slot right now. The main fight is between these guys, Cyber, Brandon, and Piper, all being within 20 points of each other. Very close. Other than that, though, Racing Green's coming out with a bang. Goose as well. Definitely, you can see... That is exactly what we want to see going into the next fun season, and especially with the stats as well. Just how close their average finishes are between Packers and Nathan. Of course, Nathan having a bit of a better one with his really the only bad one finishing at New Hampshire. Packers, though, mostly he has not left the top 5. So good for him. He's been solid there. However, when he has a good day, he's finishing P3, P2 at the ROVAL. On a bad day, he's finishing P5. On an average, Nathan's bad day, he's finishing P4, which is how the title is won or lost there. Anywho, so these are the stats for this week. Pretty self-explanatory. But the combined standings is what I really wanted to talk about. The combined standings here, you can see, are very close. That's not it. BS has locked it up. There's no way that he can lose the title now. So Baseball Kid pretty much locked up P2. And again, the top 4, thanks to BS, has done the math. The top 4 are moving on to Cup next season. The 5th spot is the only one up for grabs. So, and the way that it works is as so. If Tom Selling Dreams starts the race on Sunday, then he will be locked into next season, a next season Cup. However, if he does not start, then D's or Dakota, depending on where, if D's starts, then and Tom does not, then D's will be moved up into the top 5. However, if neither of them start, then Dakota or Trump Train, depending on where they finish on Monday, can move on. So there's a lot of what ifs, and really it all comes down to who will show up. And that's really how you win or lose your advancement into Cup next season. Is if you just don't show up, then you don't have a chance. If you show up, then you have a chance. So we'll see how that kind of works on out. But yeah, good job to BS, our first official title winner for MRL. And actually, I announced earlier this week that after the championship week, we're gonna have a special Fastlane episode live streamed with all of the champions to kind of talk about their season, just kind of BS around, pun intended. So yeah, we will be talking about that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The date and time we'll see, because again, we don't know who exactly is going to be the champions yet, but we will invite them all on here and talk about that. However, going to the power rankings for next week, I definitely have to say, good job to everyone in the season so far. We're going into championship week for both Cup and Xfinity. And I think the championship leaders are definitely going to be taking that. So we have UK and BS for the combined. I think those are without a doubt the top of it. That is for Sunday. With the odd one out, I feel like Homestead is going to be Xander's return. Look for him to be the dark horse for that. But I think UK and BS are going to be, as long as they show up, they're going to be like, you know what, I'm just here for fun. In terms of Monday, the top 2 have proven to be the best 2 of the season. However, I think the one to really watch out for is going to be Brandon. I'm going to cheat a little bit and say Cyber. So both of them are going to be my dark horses for this coming week. So these 2, I know it's very self-explanatory, but as we look into the championship week, the top 2 are always the ones to watch for the power rankings. However, anything can happen, and of course Monday is the closest, and realistically, if there's a championship that's going to be won or lost, it's going to be here. Everyone else in every other series, all they need to do is show up. That's it. That's all they need to do is show up, and they win. Here though, yeah, you can show up, but you got to also finish. And who knows? Like, if life gets in the way, Nathan could metaphorically lag out, and Packers could win the title. Or Nathan could lag out, and Packers could be just 5 points short of winning the title. Anything can happen. So I'm definitely looking at these 2 for the top 2. They're going to be on their A game. They're going to be practicing Homestead and studying, watching what Sunday does, and we're going to see what can be done there. So, without further ado, that has been the Fastlane episode 4, Xfinity at the Charlotte ROVAL. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you are liking what you see, please give a little subscribe to Millennium Racing League. We are always looking forward to having new people on track, and we will definitely have some new people on track next week in both the Cup and Xfinity series. So thank you guys so much for coming on out, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.